want to talk for a moment about hospital capacity and what we are doing, and kind of bring you an update, and we'll just update you every several days as we move forward. You know, this is one of the things that we have to do to get ready for the surge that's coming. It's important that we not only build out hospital capacity, but we're also going to are in the process of building out capacity with medical personnel, the same way we're doing with personal protection gear, equipment for the folks who are in our hospitals. I've asked Dr. Acton and General Harris really to lead this, but they both have great teams, great people who are working on this every single day. Let me start with a map. There it is. Many people may not realize this, but the Department of Health already divides the state into 8 separate areas, 8 regions called health preparedness regions. The hospital systems in these different regions already work together to do emergency planning in their areas. This is something that they are used to. But the coronavirus and what's happening, of course, is unprecedented, and what is going to happen is unprecedented. And so as we learn more about the impact of the coronavirus on our communities, it really became clear, I think, to all of us that not only do hospitals have to work outside their individual systems, they must also work beyond their traditional preparedness regions as well. And so we have divided the state further into 3 big zones. Cleveland, there's the Cleveland area, Columbus, and Cincinnati, Dayton. And the purpose of this is to get the hospitals ready, get everyone ready for what's going to happen when the surge hits us. So a couple points. One, what you do today, if you have an emergency, is the same as you've always done it. That is not changing. Whatever that is, working with your individual doctor, working sometimes with an emergency squad, that is not changing. In fact, one of the things that's been happening is that as we have asked everyone not to do elective surgeries, actually the space in the hospitals, by and large, is increasing. So the capacity there, and there's more beds that are right at this moment actually open. But as we look forward to what we know is coming, and if anyone wants to wonder why we're doing this, I would ask them just to turn on the news in the morning, turn on the news at night, watch what's happening in New York. New York is much more densely populated. It certainly may travel quicker there, but what we're seeing in New York is what we work every single day to avoid here in the state of Ohio when this wave finally does really hit us. And so this is what we're trying to prepare for. So when we get to the surge, let me just go back, if we could, to the map for a moment. Again, these are the different regions, and I don't want anyone to think that if you're in Cedarville, Ohio, you're going to necessarily end up in Cincinnati. But there's really 2 variables, and the reason we've divided the state into 3 areas is to deal with these 2 variables. One variable is capacity. If the hospital that you're normally going to is full, obviously you need to be going somewhere else. And so we have to be able to have the ability, the medical people, to direct you to that other hospital. So capacity is one variable, and then the level of care is the other variable. So you might be in a situation when you're in one hospital, and your situation gets more difficult, and it might necessitate, based on medical decision, a move from that hospital to a bigger hospital. So again, this is to prepare for what we know is coming, and it's necessary really to have this build out. I've asked General Harris to send some members of the National Guard to Cleveland, Columbus, and to Cincinnati to start planning and assessing the structures needed for the anticipated surge. The teams from the National Guard are working with healthcare experts and engineers to understand what's needed, ranging from utilities such as water, electricity, those kind of needs, to also understanding how many beds, bathrooms, sinks, et cetera, are needed. So this is not something that just the National Guard is doing. Hospitals have had plans for some time about how to build out when that was necessary. So all of these things are being integrated together, and the hospitals are working very, very closely with the National Guard on this. Right now, for example, as I speak today, our Ohio National Guard is meeting with Columbus Convention Center folks. Also, at the Duke Energy Center in Cincinnati, they're there this afternoon to assess a possible buildup. Again, no final decisions with either location has been made, but they're there today assessing the situation. Over the coming days, the National Guard will continue to help communities expand this hospital capacity, and you will continue to see this through the communities. What are the possibilities of expansion? Well, pretty much what you've already heard on TV and what you've seen other states have been doing. It might be a college dorm, it might be a convention center, it might be a closed hospital or an unoccupied medical office, or there may be other possibilities. But they're assessing all of those things to give us increased capacity.